guys, welcome back to the Toppling TBR. I'm Stacey.
I'm Hannah, and today we are deep diving into Empire of Storms, part one, which is the Firebringer. Okay, and it starts off on a flashback, forever ago, whenever Gavin and Elena are fighting the war with Erewhon. And I found out so many interesting things in this little section. So we find out that Elena, even though she wasn't super powerful, has raw magic, which I guess I
Yes.
missed. I didn't know that. That's super interesting to me because it's very rare.
Yes.
Also, she mentions that her father's oracle said that Erewhon cannot be killed.
Yes.
Which, do you think that still applies? Or do you think that was only in the current situation?
You know what? I'm really hoping that because of all the things that we now know about Elaine.
Aelin, I keep mixing up their
Aelin,
names
yeah, I was
too.
like, wow, I just blanked. I just completely blanked.
I
That's
keep mixing up their
bad.
names.
Yeah, now that we know all this stuff about Aelin and all the powers and stuff that's coming out, I'm wondering if maybe that was the case about the powers they all had then, but they have kind of created the situation to create her to be able to defeat him. That's what I'm hoping because I'm a little scared for them, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. So I read the oracle thing and I was like, well, then what are they doing? Like,
Well, yeah, I'm like, why on earth would you set somebody up to die? Unless you have a prison to stick him in, what the hell are you people doing?
yeah, which leads me into my other point is so we see how much of a front row seat Elena had in all of this. Like, not only was she there at the battle, but she was calling the shots and, deciding which path they're gonna take. So she knows a lot. So why the hell did she not tell Aelin more? Like, she was willing to sacrifice everybody and everything for the future of Aurelia, and Aelin is the one that should be carrying that out. So why not tell her everything?
No, I don't know. There was a lot. I had a lot of feelings about this. This poor girl now has the fate of the world resting on her shoulders, and
Yeah,
everyone's keeping stuff from her. I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be so angry.
she's been manipulated across centuries. Like,
Yeah. They
they're
set her
using
life
her.
up before she was even born. This
Yeah,
is, yeah, she's taking it in stride though. She's classier than I am because
right?
I'd be really mad.
Same. Also
Yeah.
here, Elena makes a comment, which is, repetition of the same phrase that perhaps the players in the unfinished game will be different. So we keep
Yeah.
hearing this unfinished game, which brought me to the question, how did the King of Otterland know that phrase? Because we've heard it from Elena multiple times, but whenever he's about to die on the roof, he's like, oh yes, the players of the unfinished game, Galathinius and Haviliard.
No, I
What?
don't know. There's so many things that I don't know at this point.
Yeah. So my brain is going, and I'm like, was it because he was privy to these books that he had burned? Like, was it written in there? Was it a common
Oh,
phrasing? Or
oh, yeah.
was it, the Duke slash Erewhon telling him that the
Oh.
unfinished game? Like, I don't know. But it's super popular and I want to know.
Yeah, I kind of want to know now. There's so much I couldn't quite wrap my head around in this book. So much happened in the first part that I'm like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Holy,
It's packed.
oh yeah, it was a beast. And I had real trouble because I was like, I'm going to set chapters like a good girl. And I'm going to read so many per night so that I'm not waiting. Well, I already blew that because, like I said, I finished it on Thursday and I plan to finish it Friday.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm done.
Okay, we got like an hour, and then you can start reading some more.
I know. But all morning I've been like, I'm waiting. I
Right.
cannot wait to finish this part.
And the beginning is typically in Sarah J Maas style pretty slow.
Yeah.
And then it picks up by the second half. So if this was the first half of this one, it's starting off with battles and stuff. That's second half's good. It's good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It felt like I got thrown in at the deep end and it was just go, go, go.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay. So anything else on the prologue?
No,
Good
no,
there.
good.
So let's go ahead. A lead story isn't too much. So let's go ahead and knock out her story. So
Good plan.
she's on the run and Lorcan is trailing her. And she hears these howls that she recognizes from Marath. And Lorcan comes out and the Ilkin show up, which they're terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like of the creatures that we've met so far, I feel like the Ilkin, the fact that they can like regenerate and like come back to life unless you decapitate them was
Yep. When this all kicked off and I'm like, oh my God, she is fucked. Like, how
yeah.
is she going to get out of this?
Yeah. So one thing too that I found was a little concerning was there was a moment where Lorcan contemplated using the word key.
Yes.
Which obviously out of desperation because he's probably never met an opponent that can just literally melt through his shields, much less, get through them. So that was probably
Yeah.
pretty terrifying, but I'm glad he didn't because if he did, well, in him not doing it, it shows that he's got some morals and some limits, which is really good. He's not evil. But also if he did, he would have found out that it was not a real word key and the whole story would have changed.
Yes. But then at the same time, if he had done that and found out it wasn't, would he have ended up being dead? Because that would have tripped him right up.
Yeah.
Like,
I
to
don't
think that
know.
you're gonna use something and it doesn't work, like, holy shit balls, that would have been bad.
Yeah, or yeah, I don't know. Or would have it have had some power because there is the ring in there, the Vogue ring, so there is some piece of, like, a word stone in there. So maybe
Wouldn't
it
be
would
the
have
same.
amplified his power a little bit, I don't know.
Or maybe he would have just thought that it wasn't as powerful as he thought, I don't know.
Even
That was, yeah, risky.
so
She
glad he
played a
did
risky
that.
game.
Yeah. But then he, hears a scream and runs and sees a lead with an Ilkin, and I loved a lead impersonating Manon. Like, that was brilliant.
She pulled that right off. Absolutely
Yeah.
pulled it off.
Her mind is just, like, superb. Like, her survival skills and the way that she's able to not only think on her feet, but then carry it out. Oh, I love it. I love it.
I do too. She is a fast thinker. She is quick on her feet of getting what she needs to get. Even though her body is so damaged, she had to use her
Yeah.
mind. So I was actually very impressed because I thought she was going to die. I honestly thought I was just about to say goodbye to her, in
Yeah,
all honesty.
how are you gonna get out of that?
I don't even know how I would get out of that. I'd probably cry and be dead. That would be it.
So, then Lorcan keeps mentioning that he smells something off about her, and he asks her, and she says she's human, but he cuts her minorly. But honestly, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I would have too.
he's not a trusting person, but at the same time, you don't mess around with demons. Like, you have a demon infestation in your realm, you need to make sure you're not traveling with and protecting one.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like, how did you survive that? I barely made it through that. How are you still here? I would have had questions. I would have
Right?
been like, "That's sus. That's sus."
Seriously.
Yeah.
So then she says her name is Marion, which I enjoy because,
Yeah.
that's her dead mom's name. And so I don't know if it was the first thing that popped into her mind or if she was actually looking at it more symbolic, like as a, way to remember her, keep her alive, protect her. I don't know. But I
I don't know.
enjoy that.
Yeah, I did as well. It was clever. It was clever of her to do that because she's not, like, leaving a trail now.
Yes. Well, she
That
can't be
was
a lead.
very
They're hunting
smart.
her.
Cool. Oh, yeah, that's true, but, like, I don't know. I can see why she thought to change her name. It was smart. That was very smart.
But then also, Vernon and everybody know that Marion was her mom. So is it the smartest name to choose? Maybe not, but it's
True.
still better than a lead.
True. That's very true.
So after that, we see her leg in pain, and Lorcan offers her some salve in payment for information on Marath. And he learns that she's looking for Selena and then Aelin, and he knows that they're the same person, but he doesn't tell her anything in this moment. And I went back in my notes, like trying to figure out and like think, why would he withhold this information? Like it wouldn't do anything negative for him or his mission for her to know, right?
No, but at this point, he's after information, and if he thinks that there's a chance she's keeping things from him, he's got
Oh,
something to give her now.
right.
So he can give her information to show that he's sharing, but he wasn't ready to give up that tidbit yet.
I did not think about that. I'm like, okay, well, if she did this, and this, that makes sense that he's holding on to a little bit so he can get
I
more
would.
because she's not being fully forthcoming either.
Of course
So
not.
they're
I
they're
would be
both
trusted.
smart and untrusting and all of those things. They're alike.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. They're having to work together because they have a need to work together, but I don't
Right.
think trust comes easily to either of them.
No, rightfully so too. They've both been enslaved their entire life to some
Oh, that's
evil
yeah.
deity or whatever. So I get that. But then he promises to protect her and not abandon her. So we see him step into the role of her guardian. And then there was a moment after that where Elide finally steps out in the open and we see it was a powerful scene for me because she's been trapped and chained for almost her entire life. And she's
Yeah.
finally out in the open seeing, like, the skies and the fields and, like, her wonder and awe and everything in that moment was powerful to me, and I think Lorcan felt it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, they're going to try to sneak in to this carnival. We see Lorcan use his magic to brace her limp because,
Yep.
at the end of the day, he's practical. He wants to succeed. And
Yep.
then we see them go into this tavern and we get to I really enjoyed this scene with Marion as well because we get to really see her think on her feet. And so she's trying to like infiltrate this other and get accepted into this carnival group. And they're like, well, what's your name? This and that. And she was able to pull out of her ass Baba Yellowlegs, his mirror, whatever carnival. And she's so smart. She's so smart. She's been paying attention for so long. And she's
Oh, yeah.
so quick on her feet. And I really, really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed that he is gonna be the sword thrower and she's gonna be the oracle because, he's the muscles and she's the brains, and it's a good little balance. I'm actually
I
excited
like
to
that.
see that play out.
I like that.
I think they function really well as a team together under
Yeah.
pressure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't
They
know if
really
you
have
did.
found a way to make it work between them, and I'm really enjoying that as well, but
And it just
I liked Lorcan anyway. I know
you
he's
did.
like, but I guess the more I see of him, the more I'm really seeing him soften, and I'm
Yes.
really enjoying it.
Yes. So they get accepted into it. She says that he's her husband so that, no guys will treat her a certain type of way. But we see his like protective nature kind of come out a little bit whenever he's witnessing some of the guys looking at her wrong. So I think he has, assumed that she's been abused in the past, but, rightfully so. She's been chained and, maimed and all of this. Then he keeps talking about it's very repetitive that he can smell something off about her. He can smell the stone on her. And finally he tells her that he gives a little bit more. He tells her that Selena is in Aelin's service. So I think maybe he will start giving her a little bit more. That was a good call on your part. But next thing is he hears her hide something under the mattress. So now he's aware that she's hiding something. So we'll see how that plays out moving forward. And then she opens up to him about Vernon, about how he has no morals and he's just a terrible excuse for a human being. And Lorcan offers to kill him at no cost, which I found that pretty out of character for him. So I'm wondering if he's starting to like soften up to her a little bit, or he just likes to kill people. Maybe I don't know.
I think it's that. I think he's starting to develop an affection for her, definitely. Like, they're
Yeah,
together now, they're in this together, and I think that he's starting to learn to trust her as things are going on as well. I really enjoyed that part too, because I think she said something back. He asked her why this had happened, and he said, "Well, when you kill him, you'll have to ask him."
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could laugh at that part. I was like,
That was her accepting it. Like, yeah, you got it.
"Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was funny."
Yeah, I also really I said I like their dynamic, but I really do because Elite hasn't had a lot of people in her life as an ally, but much less as a protector. So we saw
Yeah,
Manon kind of step into that role, and now we see Lorcan stepping into that role, and they're super observant and they're both able to read her and the things
yeah,
that she's not saying and kind of call her out on her bullshit, which I
yeah,
think is super important because she's not going to grow or succeed or do any of those things unless she has someone who's equally as observant and
yeah,
cunning as she is. So I think that they're just a really good pairing for this
yeah.
journey.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree with you. I did notice it too that even though Manon was protecting her, I think she feels a little abandoned by her too when the
Uh,
13 dropped her off and flew away. I know it was for her own good, but I think she's still smarting from that a little bit too. So it's going to make her even more wary.
yeah, which that makes sense because he was like, "Yeah, I'll protect you," and she was like, "And don't abandon me." Like she threw that in there.
Yeah, exactly. So that must be really weighing heavy on her that someone did protect her and then they just left her.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause she was in a lot of danger out there as well. Like, she was
yeah, she
hungry and she was
was
being chased and
running
my
into
my
the Ilkin.
yeah, like, my heart broke for her a little bit, like, being out there by herself. It was yeah, I actually really enjoyed her
Yeah,
chapters. I really
me
did.
too. Do you have anything else on her chapters before we move on?
No, no. I
Okay.
love how you cover everything. Everything that's in my head, you kinda just
Well, good. I take very thorough notes. So now we'll kind of ping pong back and forth.
yeah,
So
yeah, go
we are in Marath, and Erewhon has taken his own body finally, which
yeah.
I'm not sure what the catalyst or the turning point was for him to do that. Because if he was stuck in, he said Duke's fat meat bag or however he referred to it, for years. I feel like he would have stepped into that a little bit sooner.
I think it's more to do with the fact that he didn't want anyone to know he was back, and now the cat's out of the bag, he doesn't have to pretend anymore.
Yep, he's got all the pieces in place too.
He's ready to go.
Yep. So he is going to send the witches to sack Rifthold and take over the city,
Yeah.
which is terrifying. But
Yeah.
that's okay. All right. Let's jump over to Aelin now. Let's talk about Darrow. Did you want Aelin to set him on fire? Because I did.
Yes. Yeah, I still do. I still do. And I know that she kind of understands, but I don't care. I don't. I think that
Ugh.
she should have just
He made me so mad. I was, like, fuming while I'm reading it. Like, not only is he mocking her court and saying that she's not a queen, but, like, he's just such a dick about it. Like,
yeah, I do understand why her family has been gone. They've been kind of taking care of themselves. The what does she think she's going to do? Waltz in and be their queen now? She's got to earn it. But I think the way approached it, I would have punched him straight in the
right.
face.
Exactly. Like, he has valid political concerns. I get it.
Yeah,
But, like, handle yourself a little bit better. She could very well be your queen one day, and you're sitting here talking to her like this and acting like her chosen family is less than because they're not proper nobility. Like,
yeah.
excuse me, but what did you say? Like Lysandra, Rowan, and Adian, they could eat you for breakfast, and you're over here talking shit about them? I did not like him at all.
I
I was
still
just as
don't.
mad this time reading it as I was the first time. And some
Yeah,
of my emotions have been a little muted this time through because, I'm not experiencing it for the first time, but nope, I was livid.
yeah. I didn't like him at all. I think that it was really disrespectful to even talk to her that way. You can
Yeah.
have an opinion, absolutely, but you don't need to talk to somebody like that, especially someone you don't fucking know.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't
And
like him at
someone
all.
who has more of a title or more, she can take that position far sooner than you ever could. But
Exactly.
he tells her that if she takes her throne, it will be treason and it will be an act of war. And, this just shows Aelin is having to fight just as hard against like the human politics as she is against the Valg and the demons. So she's fighting for survival of everything and everybody on this continent, but she's also fighting for her title.
She must have
She's
known it wasn't gonna be quite as easy as walking in there and having everybody bow. Like, she must have realized there was gonna be a
Yeah.
certain amount of pushback. She didn't know what she was going home to either,
She
but
did it.
yeah, that really set my teeth on edge. I can't imagine standing there and having him say it to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was yeah.
do you think he's just the loud mouthpiece, or do you think that there's like a lot more resistance to there'll be a lot more resistance to her reign?
I think it's more that he doesn't wanna lose what he has. Like, he guessing is probably in charge of a lot more, and if she comes
Yes.
back, things are gonna change, and you don't want things to change. People don't like change, especially if it means that they're gonna get less. I
Right.
don't think he wants to lose what he had. I don't think he's looking at the big picture here where, "Hey, we're just about to go to the kind of war where we could all be dead," because all that he cares about is what he has, which is
His small
disgusting.
little world.
Already
Yeah.
set me on it.
Well, also too, he hasn't seen her since she was a little girl, and she was pretty haughty when she was a child, and he doesn't know who she is. She's been gone for however long, which they take as some form of abandonment because they don't know the full story, but she shows up, with an old like an old prostitute essentially, and, a prince who was in captivity of a different queen, and so, like, I understand where he's coming from, it's just his delivery. I didn't like that. It was
Yeah.
unnecessary.
I didn't like how the whole thing about Lysandra either. I think that was, "I'm sorry, it's none of your business, mate. Like, shut
Yeah.
up. You don't know who she is." Like, I didn't like that either. I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're talking about my Lysandra that way? I'm gonna do you."
Right? I love her. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we have to remember Darrow, however much we hate him, is not a villain. He's just an
I
inconvenience.
know. I know, I just don't like the attitude that's coming off him. He better change his tune pretty sharpish in the second part of this book.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope.
But then I loved Aylin's badass move of there's so many similar names in this book, but her move of snuffing out all of the lights and being like, well, if we lose this war, you better get used to the darkness. That was great.
He's
She's
so
super
sassy.
Yeah, she's sassy and she loves the dramatic. Like, she's so theatrical, and not only did that fit into that part of her, but it was super effective too. At least I thought so. I don't know if Darrow thought so, but I did. But honestly, Darrow got off easy. She could have set him on fire, and this is just another situation that we really see her character growth or at least her restraint, because as a queen, she doesn't wanna be, an evil reactive queen. She wants to think things
Yeah.
through.
She's doing good. She's doing great.
Yeah, so, we end that scene with a messenger showing up and telling them that witches are on their way to sack Rifthold.
Yes.
So, Rifthold gets attacked, and Aelin's wall collapses, and we see Dorian, able to use his magic to fight for the first time since, it's not the Vogue controlling it, which that was exciting to me to see him bringing wyverns. So I have to work on my pronunciation. The audiobook is throwing me off. See him bringing wyverns and their riders down and stuff. That was really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Until one of the yellow legs breaches into his tower and he gets hit by the venomous barb of its tail. But then Manon shows up and she chops off a witch's head. So she's officially a witch killer, other than
Yep.
the Crockens, of course, which that whole scene was pretty exciting to me.
Yeah. I told you, she's crushing on him so bad, she's killing her fellow witches.
Right. Right. So we see right after this, we see her tell him and fill him in about Erewhon and his
Yeah.
plans. And I had a question for you. And do you think that that's because she's crushing on him? Or do you think it's that plus a combination of she sees good versus evil and she now is trying to make the moves to be on the right side?
Think that she doesn't like to lose, but I think that she sees just how bad this is. And she trusts him, which is really interesting. I really think that she trusts Dorian
I do
enough to
too.
be honest. Yeah. And I think that's really probably hard for her because I don't even think she trusts the other clans, right? Like it's only her 13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
so
doesn't
she
like
doesn't even
Dorian.
trust fellow witches to an extent, and she's looking at this beautiful prince, king now, and she is bubble diarrheaing exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she understands the gravity of what's going on, and I think that she's hoping they can stop it without her having to do too much to draw attention to herself. Even though what she's just done is pretty. Yeah, I actually couldn't believe it when she did it. I couldn't believe it. I went back and I was like, okay, I have to read that again because
Did
I'm like,
she really?
yeah, I'm like, did she really just fucking do that?
She did.
Manon, did she really do that? And I'm like,
Mhm.
she does love him. I knew it.
Yeah. And, she's been containing all of this. And Manon is a strong character, and she's been told to stay in line, be obedient. And,
Yeah.
if I were her, I wouldn't want to be obedient. She's probably been wanting to break out and break the rules and do whatever the hell she wants for a really long time. So this just gave her an opportunity. And I think she just reacted, which I'm glad she did because I'd be super, super sad if Dorian were dead.
Yeah, me too. It
So,
would have been weird to see what would have happened if she'd have gone that route by killing
yeah.
him off.
Or bringing him back because I think she had actually stood up for him with Erewhon, and she was like, "No, no, we don't need to kill him. We should bring him back." So,
Yeah.
she's been
Yeah, but she's protecting him again. Like
yeah, she's been
she's
trying to defend him the entire time.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder if there's something that she knew that she knows because why? It is
Yeah.
really confusing unless there is a connection there between the two of them. We just haven't she can feel it, but we haven't seen it yet. And
We're
I don't
gonna
know.
know.
It seems like she's doing a lot for someone she barely knows. For
Yeah.
a city she doesn't care about.
Well, I think that they really, really saw each other whenever they first met. Like I said before, they were both slaves by, like, this dark force, and they're both in there fighting it in their own ways, and he didn't balk from her, and I think all of those things play into her level of respect for him and just feeling like he sees her, which I don't
Yeah.
think anybody's ever given her that time of day, they just, cower away from her.
Yeah.
So, but Dorian now owes her a life debt, which there are life debts all over this series. And,
Yeah.
I guess it's just showing their interconnected faith. Like, I don't know. They'll all come into play later, I'm sure. But also another question is Rowan shows up right after that, right? And he kills the remaining 4 witches and starts choking the air out of Manon. And
Yeah.
Dorian is like, no, don't do that. So does that count as repaying the life debt right away? Because technically he kind of just saved her from Rowan.
But that's personally, it is really, if you think about it, he just saved her life. But at the same time, all he did was speak. And
Yeah.
that's Rowan's not one of his people. So he didn't have to stop. I don't know. That's interesting.
So it also made me think about whenever Manon owed Aelin a life debt. Yeah. And so she wrote, "Witch killer, he's still in there." And
Yeah.
it said for a life debt. And I was like, well, that's not payment for a life debt. I mean, unless she's saving Dorian's life, but that's not the same. So I think that both of their life debts are still unpaid.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
probably right. I think you're probably right. I think everyone owes everybody at this point. As well cash a card in wherever you got it.
Right? So then it mentioned, I don't know if you caught it because it was just a little bitty blip in it, but it mentioned that the witch's only power is called the yielding, but it comes at a cost. And it was kind of this little bitty building of suspense that we know the witches are really powerful, but we don't know how yet.
Yeah, I did spot that, but I didn't know if I'd missed some.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. That's I think the first
Okay.
time that it's mentioned it, but you'll learn more about it later. But
Excellent.
I just wanted to point it out in case you had missed it.
No,
Okay.
I did remember seeing that, but I thought maybe I had missed something.
No. And I mean,
No.
not unless I did too. So I think you're good.
Okay,
So
good.
after that, Rowan and Dorian leave through the tunnels. They steal a boat and they're heading to Skulls Bay. And we see kind of a little bonding moment between them on the boat. I enjoyed their interaction like a lot.
I did too. I did too. I really like that Rowan is making connections in Aelin's world now because he's
Me
lost his. Now
Yeah,
he's yeah, I actually really enjoyed that too, especially with Kale being gone.
Dorian
Dorian
needs
works really
that.
well with another male lead. Like, yeah, it worked really well for me too, really well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then he's teaching Dorian, use your power or your power will use you. It can destroy you. He even opens up about Lyria, but Dorian made a comment or a thought, I'm not sure, where he was like, "Oh, well, your mate. I was wondering if you and Aelin were mates, but you can only have one, so I guess that's
Yeah.
not true," which I found interesting.
But is it not true? How do we know that the first wife wasn't his mate? Like, do they know? Do you get like a I don't want to go start mixing on books here, but is there any proof of that? Do they know? Is there a physical thing?
I think it's something you
Bond?
can I think you can feel it. I think
Uh,
I'm not sure. I think it talks about it later, but, like, I feel like the mating bond, like, snaps into place, and
okay, because
I
I
mean,
was
at
like,
least in
maybe
other
that.
books that I've read.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know because so many of them talk about stuff like this. I didn't know if maybe
Yeah.
his first wife just wasn't, and that Aelin is. But
Mm.
I guess if he said that, I don't know. Maybe he can have more than one. Like, it's
Yeah,
a different verse,
it
right?
hasn't done yeah, well, Dorian said, "Oh, well, since you only have 1." So I think in this realm or world or whatever, they get 1, but I don't know. We shall see. So their goal right now is to go to Skulls Bay and get Rolf to ally with them because Aelin cannot be the one to do that. And Rowan made a comment and it made me so happy. Like, it made me giggle where he wrote Dorian was like a little worried about meeting pirates or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, well, you've met Selena. He can't be much worse." Very
Yeah,
true.
that's such a comfort.
Very true. But Selena is a beast. Like, I love seeing the glimpses that we get of her showing
Yeah,
back up.
me too.
Um, so yeah, now Dorian is or not Dorian, Rowan is in the role of protector and mentor for Dorian on this path.
I like that. I actually like the fact that he is taking on that with Dorian, the
Me
magic
too.
and whatnot. It's cute. It's really cute. He's a good
Yeah,
man. Oh,
he
I
is.
guess they don't call themselves
Good
man, do they?
male. Good
Males.
male.
Yeah, because someone else says that, he's like, "Oh, that's a human thing."
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I just
And
like
it's
with
a well, I'm pretty sure I've seen that in multiple other books too. So I think
yeah,
Fae realm, it's male and female.
male and female, yeah, no men and women. Yeah, I just that just popped into my head when he said that in the book, and I'm like, "Oh, that's funny."
Yep. Okay, so Manon is back in Morath. And she shows up, and freaking Iskra has gone and tattletale, whatever.
Sounds
Yeah,
for that.
told all of them that she is a witch killer and that she did not, in fact, kill this witch in self-defense, and they put her on trial.
Yes.
So Petra owes her a life debt, so I think she kind of steps in to this role, and whenever she asked, "Why did you save my life?" and she said, "I didn't want Keely's life to go to waste."
Yeah,
I
see, I
love
got
that.
goosebumps again. Yeah, because we're
Yeah.
really M Manon is really humanizing, and
Yeah.
it's quite magnificent to watch.
It is. And then I think that that really, really, like, touched Petra too. I think Petra was, like, in awe, like, shock and awe almost, like, you remembered her name? Like, she was just so
Yeah.
touched, and I really love that. But then we see her grandma step forward, and we feel, like, a mild bit of relief from Manon, like, "Oh, okay, my grandma's gonna be the one to make this
Mhm.
decision." And then her fucking old grandma decides that Astrid will die the next day. Did that surprise you at all?
Yes, it really did, and I was really fucking angry. I'm like, "What? How do you keep someone under your thumb? You make them watch somebody they love die
But,
to show
like,
how power you don't have."
but she loves all of her 13, and from my recollection, I mean, I may be wrong, but the yellow legs that died were not that high up in the ranks, and Astrid is her 2nd.
Yeah, but if you think about the logic here, she gave birth to a stillborn, the grandmother knows that. Does the grandmother know they had been talking and that Manon was softening?
Maybe.
Because that would
Maybe, and
be to get rid of the flea in your ear telling you all the bad things that somebody is doing, you gotta get rid of that person. If you wanna keep the number 1, you have to get rid of the person that's telling them all these things. So
yes.
I wondered if she got rid of her because she knew that that's why she was softening.
Maybe. Or maybe she just hated her for, falling in love with a mortal and embarrassing her by having a stillborn. Maybe she just has this, like, long-lasting distaste
That's
for
why the god
Astrid. So it was like it was a chance for her to get rid of her once and for all, and then also to hurt Manon.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, you might be right there, you might be right.
I don't know. But then Sorrel made a comment to Manon and said, "She goes to her death to keep your secrets."
Yeah,
And Manon just kinda brushed it off like, "Oh," just like a good second should, but I feel like that probably really, really dug at Manon because that was, like, kinda slapped me in the face.
it did me as well. So I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, she did. She felt every single stinging word of that.
Oof,
Every
oof.
word. Like,
Yeah, that would
I
hurt.
was like, "Whoa, I can't believe you just fucking said."
Yeah, and then not only that, but she didn't punish you for it probably because she knows you're freaking true or
Yeah.
right. Okay,
She does know
anyway.
that this is her fault. She made a decision that is now killing somebody she cares about.
Yep.
That must be fuck, man.
So, hope Dorian's life was worth Astrid's. That's probably what's going through her head.
Yeah. Like, how do you choose that?
I don't know. Well, she's already
What a mess.
chosen, so here we are. So
What a
now it's the
mess.
day of the execution, and Astrid has been beat badly, which pissed me off. But she says the words of request, and then, they're granted, which now she'll be able to kill her, which is, a form of mercy, but it's still wrapped in heartbreak.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And then Astrid is like, "Please take my body back to the cabin where her mortal love lived." And this whole scene was pretty emotional for me. But I did have a
Yes, sir.
question. So all of the 13 put their 2 fingers to their brows, which is supposed to be the on to honor a witch queen,
Yeah.
which there hasn't been a witch queen in 500 years. So was the symbol for Astrid? Or was
I
it for
think that's for
Manon
Manon.
saying that
I
they
think it
forgive her?
I think that they're symbolizing that they feel like she's their queen. Manon's their queen.
Manon. So I was
Yeah.
thinking it was from Manon too, but I wasn't quite sure, but it did mention, like, knowing that they'll forgive her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was really touching to me as well. Like, that was a really powerful part in the book for me. Really, really powerfully done.
yeah. Did you 100% believe that Astrid was about to die?
Yes, I did. I really thought that, and I thought this is
Really
what
good.
would have. I actually thought that was gonna be the catalyst for Manon breaking away from the witches. That's where my mind went.
Well, I mean, kind of. So she yells, "Run," right? And then she brings her freaking sword down into her grandmother's stomach, which
Yeah.
unfortunately is, only an inch away from her mark. She would have died. But yeah, we see this moment's like a huge moment of growth and rage for Manon. So they fight, and the fight turns like insanely personal. And I do have a question for you. I don't know if I missed it or if it's like unclear, but so I was under the impression that Manon's mother died during childbirth, but
Okay.
her grandma said, "You will die with my teeth at your throat just like your mother." So did the grandma kill her mom?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's
Ugh.
exactly where my mind went, that she killed her, and we obviously know why now.
So not only did she kill her, but she also killed her dad. Okay, so hold on. So her grandma's like, "I'm gonna fight you the old way with my teeth or whatever," and she slashes her stomach with her rusty iron nails, and Abraxas screams. And I was
Yeah.
wondering, like, did Abraxas scream because he heard Manon scream, or did they have like such a deep bond that he feels her pain?
I wondered if he felt her pain because I don't know why wasn't he screaming before. I really think that they're so interconnected now.
I
I
think so
love
too.
that wyvern. I love him.
I do too, so much. Okay, so we also learn obviously her grandma thinks she's about to kill her, so she's spilling out all the secrets. So
Yep.
we learn that Manon's father was a super rare born Kraken prince,
Yes.
and that she and her mixed blood was the key to break the curse and save them all. Yeah, and then we also learn that she's been a kinslayer her whole life. Her grandmother has
Yeah.
been setting her up to be killing Krakens, which whole other layer of emotional trauma there.
Oh, yeah.
And that her grandmother killed her father too because he loved Manon and loved her mom, and that the Kraken that she killed in the last book was actually her half sister.
Yes. Because
Wild.
she wouldn't break her mind.
Yeah, and then yeah, that's I can't. I have hated her grandmother for so long, but, like, oh my gosh, all these secrets that she's been holding in here that she's just throwing in her face right now, like, that just
Yep.
I was so pissed that she didn't die here.
Honestly, I'm like, Manon is still standing after all that emotional baggage you just threw at her. That was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, or not, like, going into this blind rage and, just attacking without thought. But so, okay, Manon is a Kraken queen, which I was thinking about it, and she is, her what she's known for, and granted, it meant something different to her, but she wears a red cape, just like the Krakens. She always has. So, like, I'm wondering if that was really like a, "I killed you, I'm gonna wear this," or if she had this, like, unconscious, like, connection or, thought that I don't know, it just felt right, to be wearing
Yeah.
it, like, I don't know, it was a little symbolic that she is
Yeah.
a Kraken queen and that she's been wearing their colors this entire time.
Oh, that's really intriguing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just repeat again that I wish she would have freaking killed her grandma, but she didn't. So instead, she, jumps off the balcony and Abraxas is there to catch her and
Yeah.
fly her away where they get pursued by all of these yellow leg witches, and it was pretty cool to watch them outsmart and outmaneuver them and, have them fly into stuff. I love how fast Abraxas is, and he's super smart too.
Oh, yeah.
But they end up landing, and Manon is, like, severely injured, and then she comes face to face with the bloodhound,
Yeah.
which I want to know more because all of the other creatures that we've seen have been terrifying. But this one to me didn't seem as scary, but I also feel like we just got, like, a little blip of it. So
Yeah. Wasn't this the one that was more humanistic?
well, she looked human. She was wearing the
Yeah.
face of, like I think she was, like, a naked human, and then she ended up
Yeah.
transforming into some creature, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Manon gathers some strength even though she's bleeding out and, runs, and then this bloodhound is like, "I will find you." So but it also mentioned that this girl, I think she was naked, and it mentioned that there was, like, some dark moving underneath her taut stomach.
Ugh.
So, like, is she pregnant? Did that
Oh,
register with you at all?
I hope not, but it kind
I
of
was
sounded.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was, like, one of the Vogue like, one of the creations, like, maybe they're now implanting his creations with the Vogue babies, and, like, they're gonna make
Oh,
some, like, crazy weird hybrid things.
God, I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Okay. So, that's what I got on the Manon, and so we'll jump back into Aelin.
Yes.
She is getting these little presents from the little folk, and this was before the meeting with Darrow, but I did wanna mention that I absolutely loved that they gave Rowan a little hawk figure and he really liked it. Like, that was so cute to me. He's like, "They like me too."
It's cute.
But they give her the Temple of Brannon as, like, kind of a direction of where to go. So I
Yeah.
was curious, I don't know how they know where she needs to go, that she needs to find the lock. So do you think that they're acting independently, or do you think that they have, like, a connection with the gods and are in on their plan?
Well, that's really hard to say it because at this point, it kind of seems like they just seem to know what she needs or think that she needs. But I'm wondering if they do have a bigger purpose because this is the
Yeah.
second time they've appeared now and they
Yeah,
seem relevant. And it has to be more than them just being there.
and they're very
So
pro
I think maybe there's something.
Yeah, I think they're definitely an older species. I don't really know what to
Yeah.
call them, but
Yeah.
it was pretty refreshing to see, they're giving her a crown and stuff. So, although she's being opposed by, Darrow and these other
Mhm.
humans, it's kinda refreshing to see that these older, more magical forces accept her
Yeah.
for who, she's meant to be.
Yeah.
But so they end up taking that direction and going to the temple. There, we learn that it used to be the stronghold for the Mycenaean people. They had sea dragons, and that Aelin would love for the king's flame to bloom for her because it means that, the country's in peace. They accept their sovereign as their ruler, and that, it's going to be a prosperous ruling. We also learn that there are warships gathered all along the outside of the Fae territory. And I
Yes.
think every single time that I wrote this down in my notes, I wrote Maeve. What is she doing?
Yeah.
So, what is she
She's up
doing?
to something. She's up to
Yeah.
something.
Okay, so this was another thing that registered with me that I really liked the wording of it. They were talking about how Aelin was the calm before the storm, and they were like, well, she is the storm. And then it
Yeah.
said, have the gods weighed the cost to that storm and deemed the casualties worth it? Which I liked that quote a lot.
I did too, yeah.
Also, in the scene, we kind of see Adian and Lysandra start flirting, which, we see pick up throughout. The three of them walk into the temple, and then these people are like, leave. And, she puts all these symbols, symbols have power, it keeps saying. So she gives herself the fire crown. They're
Yeah.
flashing their, notorious swords. A bunch
Yeah.
of people leave, and then she's like, leave or die. And this kill when she was like and just blew out like a candle and freaking burned this guy from the inside out was so cool to me. Like,
It was
I was just
brilliant.
sitting there cheering
Her
her on.
her powers are something else.
Yeah. And like how I know it's murder, but like how fun to be so creative with it, to be like, let me see if I can do this. Or like whatever pops into your head, you learn that you can do. Like
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. I just wanted to recognize how badass that was.
Very.
So then she, makes it to the rock, summons Brennan, and I loved those pages. Like, I was sitting there cackling like a little girl. Like, she even made a comment and she's like, "Ugh, the humor must skip a generation. Why couldn't I have dealt with you this whole time instead of Elena?" And I'm like, how much funnier would these books have been if he was the one in communication with her the whole time?
True.
Love it.
Very true.
But we do learn a couple important things. She asks if Maeve is able to be killed, and he says no, that no one really knows what her power is.
Yeah.
And then he also tells her about the lock, that she must go find the lock, otherwise she won't succeed. I really enjoyed the scene. Their sense of humor's meshed very well. And then I even love, like, at the end, she sticks her tongue out towards Maeve, and Adian's like, oh, that'll work. And then that Brandon winked at Adian on the way out, like he knew he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And then whenever Aelin called Lysandra out, she flew down and she clicked her beak rather saucily at her. I loved it. Okay. So on the back burner of me sitting there laughing like a little kid,
Yeah.
Erewhon shows up. So, range of emotions. And he's wearing the skin of the overseer from Endovir.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? Because that
He
was,
knows exactly how to get into her psyche, into her players to really start destroying her psychologically, this guy.
yeah.
This creature is heinous. To know that
Yeah,
you don't you could quite easily murder everybody in there, that you're using psychological warfare on
yes.
top. What a
Yeah.
I
And
won't
the
say the word.
worst kind too. That is her most deep-rooted trauma. Even I
Exactly.
feel like that's even more traumatic to her than her parents dying, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
we see her freeze in this, like, panic and terror and just and I really, really enjoyed Adian being able to read the situation and figure it out so quickly on his own, because it shows how in tune he is with her, but it also shows that he's
Yeah.
really smart and observant too. He can put the pieces together. We haven't really seen that from him since being able to, fool the king that he was Vogue, which I guess, we have seen it. It's just been a minute. All right. So, mind you, Aelin comes to, and remember, she is wearing the wordstone. Erwin absolutely cannot get a whiff of that. So I think
Yeah.
she just is like, all right, well, let's attack. Let's go for it. And we learn that inside him, the only thing he has is a heart made of iron and wordstone,
Yeah.
which he's been experimenting on all of these creatures. And I guess I'm still a little confused at how it works, but I don't know. So another part in this that I found super creepy was I don't remember what he said, but they said like his voice touched them, like it went in them, and they both like freaked out. And that part was so creepy to me.
Yes.
We also learn that he has his men tracking Dorian and Rowan, and that he plans to capture them.
Yep.
Not kill them, capture and enslave them, which is, let's hope that doesn't happen. And then they're fighting, and he slams his darkness into her so hard that she's still talking about it chapters later. But to end that, she throws so much fire at him that, he leaves. I guess I was a little confused at the end of that scene because it sounded almost like he had died, but we know he didn't die. I think he just fleed. Like, I don't is that how you took it? Like, his heart
Yeah.
fell to the ground and it was smoking and what, he just left?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
he was there to test to see what her powers look like. And when he got
Yeah.
what he wanted, he left. No point sticking around.
I don't know. So, yeah, they won the temple, and then they are now headed to Skulls Bay too. So in Skulls Bay, Rowan and Dorian show up. Rolf knows who they are. Um, and we find out that Dorian has been declared a traitor to his crown and that Holland was named Erewhon's heir. So you had messaged me before and you were like, oh my gosh, I just realized that Dorian's king was under the vowed possession whenever he fathered them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I wonder if that gave Dorian like a tiny bit of resistance or, immunity to be able to, because everyone said if you have a collar, a vowed prince in you, he will take over. So I wonder if that gave him a bit of immunity. But then also I was thinking, like, could it have passed through to Holland maybe? Like, is that why he's so evil?
Could be.
Or maybe the king had lost some of his ability to be in control by that point, so he only
Shield, yeah.
witnessed the evil since he's younger. But then also, what if is Holland wearing a ring? Is he under
I
vowed
don't know.
control?
Yeah, we don't know yet, do we?
No, I feel like he would be. Like, why would he not be if he's Erewhon's heir, I feel like he would want to know that he has that control over him before he names someone heir. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. Random thoughts I had.
Or is he the Duke's kid? Because that would have been
Ooh.
Aaron's kid then, right?
I don't know because we know that Dorian and he don't really look alike, but I think that it did mention that he did look like the king of Otterland, and I know that the Duke is, like, redhead and freckly.
Because I was like, wouldn't that be something if
That
they're only
would be if
half
he was actually
brother?
his heir and his son. Oh,
Oh,
I
God,
didn't think about that.
yeah. No.
Yeah, absolutely not. That'd be terrifying. So, Rolf has encountered these Volg as well, like, he's killed and
Yes.
captured some of his crew, and then also some of the cadres there. Gavriel and Fenris, and I think Vaughn were there, it mentioned.
I thought he was chasing someone else down, wasn't he?
I don't know. I know that
They're not together. They're not
I think that
together.
it said Vaughn is here in his osprey form as well, but then that was it. So I don't know. That's why I think he was there. But Rowan is like, give me a fleet of soldiers from Doranel and I will tell you where Lorcan is because they've been sent to go kill him.
No, I thought that's who he was chasing him down, was
Maybe.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, hang on, I could have sworn he said he was because they wanted to know where he was because that's the other guy was chasing him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. But they were all three sent away for the
Yeah.
mission of killing
It's
Lorcan.
just those 2 together, right?
Yeah. And then Rowan tells Gavriel about Adian,
Yes.
which I actually really, really you can see how much Gavriel wants to be a dad.
Yeah.
Like that
I think
consumes.
he loved her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So apparently for Fae to father children is not super easy or not super common. So I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't even met him. And every time we see him, we see either like love or pride or desire to know him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It makes me like Gabrielle a lot.
Yeah.
But weeks later, Selena shows up in Skulls Bay. What did
Just
you
fun.
think about that interaction between her and Rolf?
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so because she's like, "Oh, is there any way to greet an old friend?" I'm like, he's so fucking mad.
Yeah. She loves to, like, play with people in the worst but best ways.
She say like, I liked your other office better."
Yeah. She's just taunting.
I was bloody dying. It was so funny. She's so
Yeah.
cheeky. I really enjoyed that because she didn't go in there with her hat in her hands like, "Hey, we need help. We can help each other." She was like, being
Um,
herself. I thought it was freaking hilarious.
absolutely. And
So
then
funny.
Lysandra comes in disguised as Aelin, and he's like,
Yeah,
"What is going on? You don't have a twin?" Which I thought that whole scene was brilliant. It
I
was
did
perfectly
too.
executed, but he refuses to help them. I mean, how would you feel after they just played with you like that? But
You know what? I wouldn't have helped him either.
probably wouldn't have either. Also, we hear something after that. I don't remember who was talking to who, but we hear something about the settling, how all Fae end up settling and some demi-Fae settle into immortality. And it's like
Yeah,
a really uncomfortable process. So we don't know yet if Aelin will settle or if Adian will settle or if they'll be mortal. So that is interesting to make note of that. Okay. We also hear at this point that Rolf is gathering weapons called fire lances. The next big thing that happens is Adian goes to meet Gabriel, and he basically throws a little bitch fit. How did you feel about that interaction?
You know what? Because he even admits that he wasn't going in there to plan to say what he said, but I get it. He lost his mother because she was trying to protect him from Maeve, right? Like she didn't
Yeah.
want him to be taken by Maeve to become part of her, group of misfits. That really broke me to know that he felt that way. But it also wasn't his fault. It wasn't his father's fault for any of this stuff happened.
He didn't
So,
even
but
know.
I could feel his devastation at losing his mother come out through what he said.
Yeah. He was just
Yeah.
taking it out on the wrong person, but
Yeah, but who else do you take it out on at that point, right?
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, yes, I'm looking at it from the outside and I'm looking at the bigger picture, but like you lost a parent and now you have an opportunity to have another parent and get to know your dad. And you're definitely starting it off on I mean, you're starting it off honest. So that's a plus, but like you're
Yeah.
starting it off on the wrong foot.
Oh,
But
I completely agree with you. It's just he went in there probably expecting to hear him out, and what he felt was the agony of the losses that he's had,
yeah,
and there was somebody that could have been part of his life, but not really because he would have been enslaved himself. So I don't know. I really felt for him in that moment. I felt for both of them. I really did. Aiden, I felt horrible for him inside because that must be
yeah,
so hard that the parent
that
that
would
you
be
want
really
is
hard.
dead and the one that you really couldn't have cared less about standing in front of you. Like, I don't know. My heart
Yeah.
kind of broke for him.
Yeah. So Lysander helps, lift him back up after that. So their relationship is deepening. I think they're really becoming friends by this point.
Hope it becomes more than that because
You do.
he sees her and she sees him, and I'm kind of gooing over that.
Yeah. Yeah. They would be cute together.
Yeah.
So after that, they all go meet in the tavern and we see the latest report and see that all of the troops are gathered outside of Eelway ready to attack, like a big F you to Aelin, which is so sad because that is literally what her blood oath was, is that she would protect those people and see the father back, on
Yeah.
his throne. And I feel for her in that moment. But also at that moment, I get a little bit of hope because she's looking at these maps and she's seeing, Briarcliff and the Red Desert and all of this, and she's remembering all of these life debts that people owe her. So, she's feeling all this sadness, but she's also planning for the future. And, that's how she works.
Yep. She's very good at that.
Yeah. Also learn that Rolf is the heir to the Mycenaean people and that
Yep.
he owes her bloodline a debt because he never showed up to help them the last time that they needed him. So then Aelin blasts out all of her power, in a show or a calling or whatever, and then the Vogue shows up. And I think with that, Rolf states his terms. He's like, I want to be Lord. I want to be, what is it? Admiral. I want the archipelago. I want Ilium, all of that. And then I will help you. So they agree to that and they go off to fight. And were you expecting Lysander to turn into a sea dragon?
No, I was not. No, I was not.
That
But
was
wow,
so cool.
every time she changes into something else, I love her more. I absolutely love her more because she must have known that there was a good chance she was going to die in the water and she
Mhm.
didn't.
Well, I thought about that too. Like, yes, animal instinct takes over, and it mentioned that, but she's never been a warrior. Like, she's never fought
No,
in those forms, in those bodies. So, like, to go take on real sea wyverns, like, how terrifying.
I was absolute. I can't believe Aiden let her get in the water.
Well,
That
what do
was
you
kind of where I was at, and you can see how mad he gets about it, but it just shows you just how powerful she truly is. She's not just some woman who can shapeshift into a butterfly. She is
Mhm.
bringing the heat.
Yes,
She
she
is
is.
bringing Arsenal. She is like a one-stop power shop. It was absolutely it blew my mind. That whole section in the book, I was like, I didn't stop. I had
Yeah.
to pee so bad, but I didn't stop until I was like, "Okay, let's go."
Yeah, it's pretty intense. But I mean, Adian really had no control on whether she did or not, because not only does she need to go protect the ships from the threats in the water, they'd all be taken out, but it also says that as soon as the sea dragons return, the Mycenaeans will return. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fulfilling that prophecy and protecting them at once. So
Yes.
Aelin has been channeling down into her power for days. She joins her power with Rowan's. They wrap themselves up in iron chains to try to, keep it in check. And she accidentally opens a gate because she's wearing the word key, and freaking Diana takes over. Deanna takes over her body. She said
Did she not
something.
know that that was gonna happen?
She probably didn't think about it, which is Aelin thinks about everything. So how
I
could
know,
you?
it was really I was like, "How did she not know there was a chance that might happen?"
But also, where are you gonna put it that it's safe in a town that, you're calling the Vogue to, and it could get overran? I don't know. There's too
Oh,
many
yeah.
ifs and whatever, and thankfully she came out of it. But Deanna did say one thing that I was sitting there trying to dissect, and I'm not quite sure the meaning of it. So she said, "Every key has a lock. You must find the lock. Flame and iron together, bound, merge into silver to learn what must be found." Is she talking about, because it mentioned she's silver and her moonfire is silver, is she talking about Aelin's the flame and they're bound in iron together right now, and then now she's silver, so she's coming in to tell them they must find the lock? Or is there a deeper meaning to that?
There was more to it than that. I thought maybe there was another power or something that was needed. All these powers together were needed to open the locks, put everything back in, because that's the whole point, right? They're gonna stick these word keys away
Yeah.
and lock them up.
Then it also says every key has a lock. So does that mean there's 3 keys? Does that mean there are 3 locks? Like, I don't know. I'm sitting here and now that I'm deep diving, I'm dissecting everything and I'm like, well, what does this mean? So I don't know. That was
Or is that each key has a slot within the lock?
maybe.
Each key has to be put back for it to close forever. Like, you can't go putting one at a time. You have to have all 3. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Well,
that was because I knew I didn't know enough to try and, like, work out what she was waffling on about.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, I obviously do not have enough information to really know what the frick she was on about.
So we also see her turn and try to attack the humans and residents of Skulls Bay. Excuse me, but aren't the gods out here trying to help you? Why would she turn that moonfire towards them and not direct it towards the ball? The whole
Yeah,
thing
that's an
confused
interesting
me.
question.
I don't know.
That's
Like,
a
I'm wondering if
really
Deanna is
interesting
evil.
question.
And Aelin even said whenever she came back too, she's like, I'm gonna make her pay. So, like, I don't know. I feel like the gods are on her team. They should be. Makes you question everything. But she's about to attack these people. Rowan jumps in front of her, and thank goodness Aelin comes too, because I don't know about Rowan against a god, and I like Rowan. So, okay, so ship blows up. Everything's okay. We learn that Fenris can teleport short distances,
Yeah.
which is exciting. And then we see the battle between Lysandra and the Sea Wyverns, where she wins, only to be introduced to the fact that those were just the offspring of the 3 large ones, adult ones that have shown up.
Yeah.
So how'd you
They were
feel in
just
that
some
moment?
baby.
Yeah, how'd you feel in
Oh
that
god,
moment?
I
'Cause she
was
was already injured, right?
yeah. She was already probably taxed too. She was probably
Yeah,
exhausted, didn't she? And, like, she had to go breathe every now and again too, right? Like, go get more oxygen. Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck is she gonna do now?" I'm like,
yeah,
"Those things were, like, 3 times her size," they said, right?
yeah,
3
3
of them,
times.
3 times her size.
Yeah, and she's new in this body,
Yeah, well, 'cause if they said that it takes ages for her to shift in and out, right? How big she is takes longer.
so she couldn't shift and run, like,
No.
she was stuck
No.
in the water.
No. I'm like,
Thankfully, they all work so well. They're all so smart and observant, and thankfully, they all work so well as a team because we see Dorian
yeah.
is able to freeze and then kill one of them, which was cool, and then Aelin is able to shoot one, so they work really well as a team, but I'm just really glad that, they knew what was happening as she was doing it because she was, you know, figuring it out as she went,
Yeah.
so I'm really glad that everyone was so in tune with her because I would be devastated if Lysandra died. So Adian shoots one of them, and we see Gavriel just super proud. Proud daddy over there.
I know. I thought that was really sweet. I know that he's probably gonna follow him anywhere now. Now he has to know his son.
Well,
I don't think he's gonna push it though.
if he
What?
can, he's still under the blood oath to Maeve.
He'll find some way around that. I think
Yeah,
Rowan would have found some way around that
yeah.
if he had gonna let him go. There has to be a way to break it. There has to be a
Well,
way.
it said that if you try to break it, you'll die.
They say a lot of things. They
Yeah,
say you only get one mate, and apparently they get 2, so there are things
yeah,
that are going on we just don't understand. Well, I don't because I haven't read it yet.
for sure. So they finally defeat all those sea wyverns, and Lysandra makes it up onto shore, and she's almost stuck in her beast mode. And Aelin doesn't even balk at that at all. She's just like, "Oh hey," and Aiden's like, don't touch her." But I don't know, Adian made a comment, he's like, "I'm gonna marry you one day," trying to,
I
like,
thought that was
bring her
really
to, but I
sweet.
think there was still some truth in that.
I think so as well. I think that realizing that she might die in the water really brought it home for him that he might lose her, because
Yes.
I thought he was gonna lose her, and I could feel my eyes welling up reading. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Please don't do this to him, like, come on."
Well, he's been very flirty with her too,
Oh.
and you can tell he's interested in her, but he's also very respectful of her because he knows they have a similar history, he was
Yeah,
Otterland's whore. So,
yeah,
he knows how difficult it is probably to, be vulnerable and be physical with someone on your own terms. So, he was very
yeah.
respectful of that with her. But
He's
yeah,
very
I
gentle.
I think that this kinda hit it home for him and made him, realize how deep those
'Cause
feelings
he
go.
got yeah, well, he got angry at Aelin. He was like, "I can't believe she did this."
Yeah.
He was hopping mad,
"Why
and
didn't
that
you
right
tell
then
me?"
you don't get that kinda angry if somebody you love's not in danger, I'm
Right.
sorry. Yeah.
Right. So after that, she shifts back, all is good. Kind of here. Well, first of all, Rolf's hand map works. We learned that. We also learned his cost that he had to pay to obtain it,
Yeah,
and that his people and his mom and his sister and everybody died by the time he got back, which is really sad.
yeah.
Everybody has so much trauma in
I
this
know,
series
how are these people still, like, on their feet? Because they've all been through hell.
and still decently good people. Like, whatever. It's okay. I'm for it. We also learn that Mala is Deanna's sister, which I don't think we
Yeah.
knew that before.
What we didn't know was that she had given up her immortality to be able to have kids.
No, she gave up her immortality in order to forge the law.
Or did she? I thought that because she had a kid, right? And that's Aelin's line.
Elena.
Or like, yeah.
So we learn
'Cause I
that at the end whenever they summon Elena. We learn that, well, that's the end part, but yeah, they summon Elena and Aelin's being a complete dick to her. And I'm not surprised by that, but I think everybody else in the room was probably super surprised by her audacity, but also their familiarity. Like they don't
yeah.
know how often they've communicated, but she summons her and she's like, "Nah, listen, I don't need your bullshit. Just tell me right now."
Yeah.
But yeah, we learn there that Mala is Elena's mom, and it did
Yeah.
say that Mala became mortal to forge the lock, I guess,
Oh,
in order to try to help win that last war.
yeah.
So,
Or did she create the lock knowing that it was gonna be a while? Like, I had so
I don't
many
know,
questions about
because
that.
she's immortal, because she was a god, so it could have
Yeah.
been. Yeah, I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
We'll find out,
I had
hopefully.
so many questions. There is so much in here.
Yeah.
I
So,
can see why people.
another thing that happened at the end is Rowan and Aelin on the beach, and they finally tell each other they love each other, and they
Yeah.
finally have sex. And I know you've been waiting for the action. Did it live up to everything?
I liked that it wasn't drawn out. I know some people
Okay.
like the really super spicy stuff, but I liked that it was just like them. Like, the
Yeah.
whole interaction was exactly how you would expect it to be between the 2 of them, and I kinda
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they described it as beautiful, like their magic kind of, it said
Yeah.
it turned the sand to glass, which was super
Yeah.
cool. It kinda
Yeah,
reminded me of,
I
like,
like
Fourth Wing, where Violet has to hold her little whatever it is because her magic is going out everywhere. But,
yeah.
I mean, it was good, it was short, it was sweet, whatever, but, like, I guess they're really into biting each other.
Yeah.
Like, he bit her in Doranel or Wendlin, wherever they were that time, and then now she's like, "Oh, bite me. Oh, you bite me. Can I bite you anywhere?" Blah. Like, I just
Yeah.
whatever. So they claimed each other and marked each other, and now everyone in their posse is aware. Also, everyone in their crew. I'm super, super happy that Aelin has finally opened up and shared everything with them. Like their
Yeah,
goals, the
me
word
too.
keys, word gates, all of that. So that I think will help in the future. So, but that's all that I've got. They're on their way. Oh, no, no, it's not. They're on their way to Eel Way, and then the stone marches, and then Manon shows up.
Yes!
So that was the end.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not she led Abraxas to find Dorian or Aelin, or whether or not the Wyvern just knew that he had to get her to safety, and that's who he picked.
I think he probably knew because she was so unconscious and like
Yeah,
she was already in bad shape. And then running and like kind of fighting and standing up to the Bloodhound, like she probably really exerted all of the remaining bit of her energy. But Abraxas he was there I don't know if he could hear what their hearing range is, but whenever she met Dorian, he was right on the outskirts. But also, she had Abrexis fly her to check on Dorian. And so
Yeah,
he
but
probably,
he wasn't where I know, but he was on they were in the middle of the sea, right? They were
yeah,
on a boat. So how
yeah.
did he know where he was?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm
And
like, "What?"
is their sense of smell that good? And how
But
far
he
away is
could
it?
have
Because
gone
it's
in
really
any
far
direction.
away. Because it took
Yeah, but he could have gone
Aelin.
in any direction.
Yeah, Aelin wasn't in Morath, she was in Terrasen. I need to look at a map because Aelin was up
Okay.
north and and then she went to the temple and then it took her 2 weeks after that to get to Skulls Bay.
Or
So
did they
I'm
follow those boats?
follow what?
Maybe it like, say, just had the big fight, right? Were they kind of keeping an eye on the fleet? Did she follow the fleet? Like, I had so many questions about
Uh,
how she managed to find them.
don't know. Let's see. The Witch Kingdom's over here, Red Desert. Where is Morath? There it is. Okay, so they were in Morath. She was there,
Okay.
and then Skulls Bay is down. Where's Skulls Bay? I don't see Skulls Bay. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay, so Morath and Skulls Bay aren't too far from each other.
Okay.
So it's a much shorter trip, but like why head directly east? Like it's
That's what I
directly
mean,
east and a
why?
little south of Morath. So
I
I
hope she
don't know.
explains that.
Like, I understand how she could explain to him, like, "Get me to Aelin or get me to Dorian," because she would feel safe with them because now she's probably gonna be joining their side because she can't go back to the other side. But how he
Yeah.
found them, I guess, is the
Yeah,
bigger
I'm
question.
curious now because that's how that section ended, and I was like, "I need more."
Yep. Yep. So that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, no, that was
No.
actually my favorite part was the fact that she fell into the water, like, she fell off the of Abraxas, and I'm like, "What a great way to end that section. What a
Right.
great way to."
Now
I'm
we've
like,
got some of
it
our
really annoyed
favorite
me.
people together. I totally forgot. My daughter told me because she's asking what about my book is about all the time, and I'm like, oh, it's about this queen and this and that. So before I was about to film, she came up and she was like, "Mommy, I made you a crown to wear for your queen podcast." So I told her
Aw.
I would I would show it.
Oh,
If
I love that. My kids
yeah.
suck. They didn't make me no crown. I'm gonna have to tell them now that you
Now you
have a
better
much
step
better
your
book
game
than
up.
I have. Yeah, I need a crown now.
Yeah,
She kids, that's so cute. That's so
yeah.
cute.
She's cute sometimes.
Yeah, my kids are a little
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm super excited to
me.
do week 2 next week or part
Oh,
2.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm going to start reading after I finish up
Same.
here. But we hope you have enjoyed this episode of Empire of Storms Part 1. I'm absolutely blown away with how amazing the books are even getting now because I thought they were already brilliant. If you'd like to follow us on our social medias, you can find Hannah at the Toppling TBR _ Hannah HANNA on Instagram. You can find me in the same place. You just put _ Stacey. You can find our Facebook page at the Toppling TBR. Our YouTube channel is at the Toppling TBR. And if you type the Toppling TBR in Spotify, you can find us on there as well. I hope you have a
Yeah.
wonderful reading weekend, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Take care, guys.